All right, hello, good morning. This is our second paper for our MathSifu end of year sprint. Okay, today we are going to do P5 Maths. Okay, for this time we are going to do on Pasir Ris Pri. Okay, this paper is done last year, so it's 2023 end of year. So I'll use this paper to run through. So for those of you who are taking, for those of you P5, okay, today is for P5. For those of you who are P5 this year and you are looking for some final revision, this video is for you. Okay. Once again, if you are looking to do the paper and download the paper in advance, you can head over to my Google Drive. All my folders, all my papers are all there. So you all can download and do it in advance. Okay, nevertheless, you guys can also take out a piece of paper and follow through with the questions here. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so there will be two papers, paper one and paper two. I'll be going through everything one shot. Okay, and then later on I'll do some editing along the way lah. Okay, so paper one, let's get started. Okay, adjust a bit. Okay. Okay, question one. What is the value of digit 4 in the 41073? So from here, as we read the numbers, it will be 41,073. Okay, 41,073. So this one will obviously be 40,000. So option 4. Okay, next, what is the missing number in the number pattern below? Okay, 76, 63, 50, 37, something 11. So as we can see, if we were to do a minus, we see the difference will be 13. This one will be 13 as well. This one will be 13 as well. Okay, so from here, it will be 37 minus 13, that will be 24. So answer option 2. Pretty straightforward. Okay, as long as you are able to see the patterns along each term, we are good to go. Okay, next, what fraction of the triangles are shaded? All right, so in total, there are 7 triangles. So then there are 2 of them that is being shaded. So answer option 1. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Question 4. What is the missing number in the box? So 8 to 4 is divided by 2. So therefore, 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. Okay. Next, which fraction is more than half? This one, they already give, somehow in this photocopied set, they already give us the diagram. So you can just follow suit and answer is option 2. Okay, this one, if you want to convert to decimal, is 0.6. All right, this one is 0.375. This one is 0.7 something. This one is also 0.55. Okay, another way we can also help ourselves to see which one is smaller or greater than half. You can just straight away take the denominator and divide by 2. So you can straight away see that which one is smaller or bigger than half. Okay, so in this case, option 2, 3 over 8. Okay, let's move on. 9.541, which digit is in the tens place? Okay, tens place, tens place is this one, so it's 5. This is your ones place. This is your tens place. This is your hundreds place. And this is your thousands place. Okay, so the answer is option 2, the digit 5. Okay, can I? Okay, let's continue. Which two lines are parallel to each other? When they say parallel, it means that they run along the same direction and they will never ever meet. So from here, the only thing we can do is by observation. We are looking at line BE and line BC. BE and BC. So it's option 3. Which of the angle is a right angle? Right angle means what? Right angle means 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Once again, based on observation, this is definitely out. Option B is more than 90 degrees. Option C is more than 90 degrees. Therefore, the answer is 4. Oh, just nice is the answer here. Okay? This one given lah. The removal not very complete. Okay? In the figure, ST and UV are straight lines. Which two lines are equal? Okay, so we are looking at option, oh, sorry. We are looking at option 3, F and H. Because we are looking at, this one is vertically opposite angles. Okay, option 3. Okay, so basically when we draw a cross, these two lines, these two angles will be the same. These two angles will be the same. That's the idea. Vertically opposite. But that means they are facing each other directly. Oh. Next, which of the following is the same as 80 kg and 50 grams? 80 kg. So 1 kg is 1000 grams. Okay, so 80 kg will be 80,000 grams. So obviously option 1, option 2 are wrong already. Okay, we must learn how to do smart elimination. Okay, those answers that is all confirmed wrong, go and strike out first. Okay, and 50 grams. 50 grams is this one. So option 3. The height of a stack of 10 identical dictionaries stacked on top of one another is 65.1 cm. So what is the height of the stack after 6 of them are removed? Okay, got to read carefully. It's not finding the height of 6, but it's the height of 4. We are looking for the height of 4. Okay, so 10 is 65.1. We are looking at 4 is how many? So basically it's 4 over 10 times 65.1. Okay, here we can do a simplification, or we can just straight away do cancelling like that. So this one will be 6.51. 6.51 times 4. Okay, 6.51 times 4, number 1 is out, number 2 is out. 6.51 times 4. The answer will be option 3, 26. Okay, this one, the reason why we don't do any working calculation here, because I want you guys to actually look at the options and eliminate the ones that are wrong. 4.65 is definitely wrong. 6.51 is definitely wrong. And we are looking at a sum of 6.51 times 4. All right, so 39.06 is way too large, because 6 times 5 is 30. All right, no, 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 4 is about 24. So 39 is confirmed out. So we don't even need to consider that already. So the answer is option 3. Okay, so use these techniques and exercise some common sense. Common sense to reduce the time in calculating. You know, you calculate, then you do your working, then wrong, then waste time. Okay, don't need. Oh. Okay, question 12. Wei Ling has 200. She paid for 52 for dress, 28 for blouse. What percentage did he spend on the dress and blouse? So quite straightforward. We define what is the total for here first, which is 80. Okay, 52 plus 28, which is 80. Okay, what is percentage of the money did he spend? So it's 80 over 200 times 100%. So answer is 40%, because this one I cancel out. So 80 divided by 2, 40%. Okay, the thing for MCQ is this: you do not need to write every single line of working. Okay, you do not need to do that. Don't need. So you see, my workings and my rough work here is very kind of like disorganized, and it's like not in a proper statement form. Proper statement forms are only required in paper 2. So don't be too hard up about writing statements here. Okay, as long as you get the answer, we are good to go. Okay, so option 2, 40%. Okay, can I? Okay, let's move on. Question 13. David buys 15 packets of balloons to decorate the hall. 20 balloons in each packet. He ties the balloons on a rod which can hold at most 9 balloons. What is the least number of rods that Mr. David needs? Okay, so the number of balloons needed. So we are looking for the total balloons first, which is 15 times 20, which is 300. So each of them can hold 9 balloons. So the number of rods will be 300 divided by 9. Okay, this one, if you do your working, you will realize that it's a 33.33333 lah. Okay, I just show you guys what it means. So it's 27, then it's 3, then it's 33, 27. It still will be middle of 3, correct? So I need to continue at least for one more place. So this is 3, 27. So you see that this number will go on and on and on. 33.33333. 33.333. So but you realize that if you only use 33 rods, you will have remainders. So how? You need 34. So option 2. That's the idea. So minimum watts will be 34. That's the idea. Okay, come on, let's continue. Okay, so for certain questions, if you are not sure and you want to like slow down and read through the question and think through again, feel free to slow down the playback of the video, or you can just pause the video and then look at my solutions. Okay. At the end of the day, all these solutions will also be uploaded to my Google Drive as well. So you all can also go and OT lah, go and see yourself. Okay. Okay, next, Jill has half kg of diamonds. Diamonds lah, almonds. She used 1/4 of it to make some cookies and gave 2/5 of the remaining almonds to Anne. How much almonds did Jill have left? Okay, so this one is fractions. Okay, fractions, there are always two purposes. One is quantity, one is proportion. Quantity are what we see here, half kg, 1/4 kg. All these are just numbers. These numbers can be converted. All these numbers can be converted to something else. So for example, I say half kg. Half kg can be just be, okay, 0.5 kg. Or it can just means 500 grams. It's just a number. It doesn't matter. So you don't really need to draw one unit, then cut to half kg, don't need. Because these are just quantity. The second one is purpose, the proportion. The second purpose is called proportion. Proportion is the one that you need to go and draw models for. Okay, so for example, they say 2/5 of the remaining. 2/5 of the remaining. So this is what we need later to draw models for. Okay, so this one is model. So how do we identify quantity and proportion? The most straightforward way, right, is to see that in quantity there are units. In proportion there are no units. Instead of units, right, they will just write off. Of 2/5 of. You see here? 2/5 of. You see, this one means proportion. That's the idea. Okay, so going back to here, half kg of that almonds. Okay, almonds. Okay, so but we still draw model. But why? Because I just want to show a quantity of it. Quantity. So the total here is half kg. Okay, she used 1/4 kg of it. Okay, I have no idea. It doesn't matter. Okay, I just 1/4. It's just like any one part is 1/4. Doesn't have to measure nice, no need. Okay, and 2/5 of the remaining elements. So this is the remaining. I cut to 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Okay, use 2/5 to N. So this one is to N. So how much left is here? Okay, at least you all have a model. You all know what's going on now. Huh? Okay, so from here, what can we do? We need to find this remaining first. So this one is half minus 1/4. Half kg minus 1/4 kg. I will be left with 1/4 kg. Okay, so this 1/4 kg is being split to 5 equal parts, and out of these 5 equal parts, 3 parts is what we are looking for. So therefore, we are looking at 3/5 of the 1/4 kg. So the answer will be 3/20 kg, option 4. Okay, so you see in this kind of questions where both types of fractions will appear, it's very important to go and take note which one do you draw models for, which one do you cut up parts for. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, when you say half kg, you don't draw one unit and then split two half and then shade off one half and say half kg. That one no point. Okay, that one is just a number. So I use the whole model here to represent half a kg. Today, if I don't like to work with fractions, can I change it? Can I change this quantity to maybe decimals? Of course I can. In fact, half kg means 500 grams lor. 1/4 kg means 250 grams lor. So if you like to work with decimals or numbers better, by all means, go and change. Okay? So this is quantity and proportion. So we use this question quite important to understand the difference between quantity and proportion. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Question 15. A rectangular piece of paper was folded. Okay, PRS 78. Find QPS. QPS is over here. Okay. So when we fold a piece of paper, okay, here we have a given clue that this folded part is also 78. This is also 78. And why is that so? Because when we fold the paper, this 78 originally comes from here. It originally comes from here. So you can see this line, right, like a mirror reflection like that. This line is like a mirror reflection. So the triangle here and the triangle here is actually the same. It's actually the same. So the angles are also mirror reflected. Okay, so students will need to understand and identify this as well. So this 78. Okay, so apart from that, you see, we are looking at QPS is on the other end of the 78. That means what we need to focus on is here and here. Can we find these two angles? Yes, definitely we can. So we are looking at SPR. And also one thing to take note that this is also 90 degrees. Why? Because this 90 degrees comes from here. Okay, this one comes from here. Okay, just like how this one comes here and this one comes here. Can see? Okay, so from here we can find some of the angles very quickly already. So QP, no, not QPS, SPR. SPR equals to 90 minus 78 equals to 22. No, equals to 12. Okay, so if this is 12, this one will also be 12 because they are the same mirror reflection. Oh, so in order to find QPS, it's pretty straightforward already. So QPS equals to 90 minus 12 minus 12, which is 90 minus 24. So answer will be 66. Option 4. Can? Can I, huh? Okay, can. So with this, we mark the end of booklet A. Okay, booklet A. Here no more already. The next one is already question booklet B already. Okay. So for MCQ questions, if you got anything that's not sure, same thing. Comment down in the comment section below and let us know. And then I'll read through the comments and then we'll reply y'all lah. Okay, can? Can. Let's move on to booklet B. Okay, measure and write down the length of AB. From here, my paper not very accurate because mine can zoom in, can zoom out like that. Okay, so this one very easy. Use ruler. Use ruler, go and measure. Okay, I will not talk about this question already. Huh? Okay, 7. What is the volume of the cube shown below? This one quite straightforward. Volume equals to 7 times 7 times 7. Answer 343. Okay, the reason you see why we don't really need to do a lot of workings here. Yes, you want to do can lah. Technically, it's 49 times 7 lah. Okay, 63, 343. But I always tell my students, okay, go and memorize your squares and cubes. Cubes up to 10, squares up to 20. This one is a must. So you see that this is a 7 cube question. So you just need to memorize the answer is 343. Okay, this one no reason to get it wrong. Huh? Okay, next. What is 9% of 545? Okay, there are actually some special techniques that you can use to do calculations here. Actually, quite straightforward. You just need to take 9. You just need to take 5 times 9, 45. That's it. Why is that so? Because essentially 9% means 9 over 100 times 500. So when we divide both the 500 and 100 by 100, I'm left with 5 times 9, which is here 5 times 9. So 5 times 9, 45. Full stop. That's it. Okay. Okay, so same thing for percentage calculations. If you are looking to speed up your way to calculate certain numbers and certain percentages, right? Let me know also. I can share some techniques with you. Okay, technically you do not even need to do this straight away from here. If you can recognize the number 9 times 5, 45, write down the answer, move on. It's supposed to be that fast. Okay. Okay, next, water leaks from a tap for a rate of 4 ml per second. At this rate, how much water will leak from a tap in 1 minute? Okay, so understand that 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, so 1 second is 4 ml. 60 seconds will be how many? 60 divided by 1 times 4 ml. Answer 240 ml. Okay, very, very straightforward. Okay, so in here, normally what I do is I'll introduce this thing called the L method. The L method tells me is I divide outward and I multiply across. This one applies to all rate questions. Okay, the L method. Divide outwards, then multiply across. Divide outwards, multiply across. It always works. I believe along this paper, right, you'll see more and more questions that I'll keep talking about this L method. Okay, so once you pick up this L method, trust me, a lot of calculations will be much smoother and much faster, and you have a very clear idea what you need to do, in terms of calculations. Okay, can. So 60 times 4, 240. Okay, question 20. Where a number is divided by 13, the quotient is 42 and the remainder is 4. What is the number? So first of all, I need to do 42 times 13. Okay, a couple of ways that I teach my students to do so. One of the methods that I do is called the T method. So instead of doing traditional long multiplication, I teach people to do this. Okay, answer is 546. Much faster that way. Okay, if you are looking to learn how this method is done, let me know in the comment section below. I'll maybe release another video for it. Okay, another way we can talk about doing this working is what I also another teach is called the box method. So 42 and 13, so 02, 06, 04, 12. So once again, we verify the answer is 546. Okay, thousands of ways we can actually do this. There are more than 8 types just to do a very simple long multiplication. And you can see that from here, the methods that I use is not traditional long multiplication. The one is too slow already. There are faster ways to do so. Okay, so if you are looking to learn how to do this, let me know as well. Okay, so this is the result of 42 times 13, and the remaining is 4. So 546 plus 4, 550. Okay, answer 550. Okay, quite straightforward lah. Okay, next, 21. Write 91,012. 91,012. Okay, this one just read off and just write. If you are more cautious, it's okay. Just write down 91,012. 91,012. Same thing, doesn't matter. Okay. Round off 31,445 to the nearest 100. So I'm looking at this place. Okay, so we are looking at 31445. Nearest 100, so I'm looking at this place. So 4 is lesser than 5. So we don't do anything. So it's just 31400. Okay, that means the whole thing you strike off. Can write down one decimal between 4.7 and 4.8, 4.75 lah. Okay, so this one is just to make sure that you all know that there can be more than one decimal place. Okay, no need 4.7, 4.8 中间没有了 in the middle no more already. How? Doesn't matter. Just put one more number in the back because you are introducing a new place value, which is now here you see is 10. Then you introduce 100. That's the idea. Okay. Hey, express 3.45 as a mixed number in the simplest form. So 3.45. If we convert to mixed number, it looks like that. Okay, and then if you are sensitive with your numbers, you can straight away see that it's 3 and 9 out of 20 because you divide by 5. Divide by 5, divide by 5. Like that. Okay, so it's 3 and 9 out of 20. So in here, they already explicitly say must put it in the simplest form. So this number, if you write this number as your final answer, it will be not accepted. Okay, you must write 3 and 9 out of 20. Must. Okay, anyway, for my philosophy, no matter whether you see fractions, whether or not they got say simplest form or they never say, you must always put it in simplest form. Okay, that has always been the philosophy all along. Okay, nowadays schools are getting very lenient and I'm not very happy with it. Okay, so just make sure you convert everything, all the fractions, all the ratios that you see to simplest form. Okay? Okay, next. Question 23. The lowest temperature 11, 15, 8, 6. Highest temperature 18, 30, 13, 32, 27. When Lin was at some of the cities, the temperature was 13 degrees. So we need to look at the range of values where 13 is possible. Number one, A is possible. Okay. B is not. C is not. D is possible. Okay. This one, see the range lah. Because this one is the minimum value. This is the maximum value. Quite straightforward. Okay. B. Name the city with the smallest difference in temperatures. Name this difference. Okay, so we are looking at the difference between each of them. So this one is 7. Okay, this one is 15. This one is 14. This one is 21. So which one is the smallest difference? A. What is the smallest difference? 18 minus 11, 7 degrees Celsius. Okay, straightforward. Huh? Okay, question 24. ABC is a straight line. Y is twice of X. Find Y. Okay, as you can see, AC lies along a straight line. That means if you are looking at a straight line, that means the whole thing here is how many degrees? 180 degrees or 180 degrees. So, and we see that there's already a 90 degrees right smack in the middle. That means we can say that X degrees, and okay, we say angle X plus angle Y equals to 90. At the same time, they say Y is twice of X. For those of you who cannot visualize, okay, draw a small model like that. So Y is twice of X and the total is 90. So from here, we want to find Y. If you are not clear with the question, draw your own diagrams to make sure you understand what's going on. Okay, Y is twice of X. So from here, we can see that, okay, 3 units is 90. Okay, we're looking for 2 units. 2 units will be 60. Answer 60. Okay, once again, for most of you, you guys are more familiar with doing finding 1 unit, then find 2 units. Okay, for me, I use the L method. So 2/3 times 90. It's the same thing. Okay, so this is the working lah, huh? Can? So answer 60, ah. Okay, next. Yen and Z shared 259 in the ratio of 2 to 5. How much money did Z get? Because they shared this amount, that means 7 units equals to 259. How much money did Z get? Z get means here, 5 units. Once again, I'm looking for my L method. So you see L method is used everywhere. But because the working step is still the same, it's just that how we present it is much more efficient. Huh? So 259 divided by 7. This one you can do working. For me, I also introduce a short division. So this one is 37. Okay, 37 times 5. This one is 100, 150, 185, 185. Okay, so once again, if you are looking to learn how this kind of methods work, this kind of mental calculations work, let me know in the comment section below. At the same time, at the end of the year, okay, at the end of the year, I'm actually doing up an online maths workshop to teach all these techniques, to simplify your calculations and then focus more on problem solving. So, if you are interested to find out more, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so 5 units is 185. Okay, let's move on. Okay, Ali bought 36 pens. How much did he pay for the pens? Once again, as you can see, it's a rate question. So 4 pens, $7. 36 pens, how much? So most of you say, oh, I need to find 1 pen first. Actually, don't need. But once again, I use L method. So divide outwards, multiply across. In fact, for this one also, divide outwards, multiply across. You see, as you understand, L method is used everywhere. It's used everywhere. Legit, okay? So this one is actually 36 over 4 times 7. Once again, we realize that 36 over 4 actually simplifies to 9 over 1. This is also the reason why I keep emphasizing that we need to simplify fractions always. So it allows you to break down numbers subconsciously and to solve calculations much more smoothly. Okay, so 9 times 7 is 63. That's my answer. Can? Can? Okay, let's move on. Find the area of the shaded part of the square. Okay, shaded part of the square. Okay, so that means this they subtly mentioned that this is a square. So you must go and indicate everything else already. So this is 10, this is 10, this is 10. At the same time, if you see that this is 10 and there's a 3 over here, that means the height here, okay, wait, it's a bit laggy here. Okay, can. The height over here in this triangle, hang on, let me, okay, a bit of a lag over there, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I think we have it here. Okay, so the height here, how long is the height? So 10 minus 3 is 7 meters. So that means we are looking at the shaded part of the square. So what is the plan? You see, the shaded area is quite off, but we know that the unshaded is a triangle. So what is our plan? The plan is to find the total area, and then we want to find the triangle. All right, then we can find the unshaded. Then we can find the triangle is unshaded basically. Then we can find the shaded. Okay, here's the plan. Okay, so once again, we find the total. So we can work with a plan. So this is why I always also mention in my problem solving framework. When you have a plan in mind, you know the steps that you need to carry out. So it makes the whole problem solving much easier. So total area will be 10 times 10. We are looking at the whole square, which is 100 meter square. The triangle will be half times 10 times 7, which is 35. And therefore the shaded will be 100 minus 35 will be 65 meters square. Okay, when you have a plan to work out, everything gets much easier. If not, you'll be looking at you have no idea where to start. Then then you look at the question, very simple question, then you start down there. Okay, so have a plan in mind and work through it. Okay, same thing. This planning process, I will also share more at my year-end workshop as well. So those of you who are interested, you all can join along as well. Okay, let's move on. Finish question 28. Printer A prints 232 posters in 2 hours. Printer B prints 576 posters in 6 hours. At this rate, how many posters can both print in 1 hour? So they kind of combine together. That means A and B, they work together and they come together for 1 hour and see how many posters can be printed. So we look at it one by one. Okay, so for A, okay, so 2 hours is 232 posters. Can we find 1 hour? Okay, once again, actually, if you realize that it is still the L method, okay, but of course, it's quite obvious that it's the 232 divided by 2. Okay, so I will still use the L method to make sure everything is standardized. So it's half of 232. So it'll be 116 posters. By now, you should be able to do this mentally because the numbers are pretty straightforward. Okay. Next for B. Okay. Alamak, what happened to my working again? Oh, okay. Let me just quickly write this one again. So because sometimes when the things don't, they don't really synchronize in the solving, so gets quite troublesome nowadays. So this is a shaded. Okay, once again, okay, give me another chance to write the plan properly. So the square is 10 times 10, which is 100 meters square. Then the triangle will be half times 10 times 7, which is 35 meters square. So we can find the shaded, which is 100 minus 35, which is 65 meters square. That's the idea. Okay. So just now we are talking about A, right? Okay, printer A. Let's find it again. A. So 2 hours for 232 posters. So 1 hour will be half times 232 posters, which is 116 posters. That's for A. Then we move on to B. B is 576 posters in 6 hours. Okay, so it's 6 hours to be 576 poster. What is 1 hour? So 1/6 times 576. That's the idea. Okay. I won't go too much into the working and stuff again. So I'll do my mental calculation. Okay. For this one, same thing. Y'all can make sure y'all do your long division or short division. Make sure y'all get it correct. Okay. For me, it's quite straightforward. It's 9, 4, and 96. Okay. So let's of course double check. Double check. 5, 7, 576 divided by 6. So 9 times 6, 54. 36, 96. Okay. That's the idea. Okay. So A and B, at this rate, how many can they come together? So we are looking at A plus B is 116 plus 96. All right. So this one is a 212. Okay. Once again, mental calculations can be done. This one, for me, how I view this calculation is since it's a plus 96, I add 100, then I take back 4. I say again, I add 100, I take back 4. So it's add 100, 216, take back 4, 212. That's the idea. Okay. So same thing for all these calculation techniques, right? I'll be sharing at my year-end workshop. So you all feel free to join, okay? So 232 posters. 212, sorry, 212. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Okay, question 29. The solid is made out of 8 1 cm cubes glued together. It's dipped in a can of paint. What is the area that is covered in paint? Okay, so this one we are looking at the surface areas. That means how many faces are being contacted with the paint. Okay, so at least we must know is what. Okay, we must have a plan first. We must know what is one face. Okay, so one face means one side lah. One side is 1 cm times 1 cm lah, which is 1 cm square. Why this is important? Because sometimes they tell you 2 cm cubes, they tell you 3 cm cubes. Then we need to go and do something extra first. Okay, so we just need to standardize that we are very clear that one side is actually 1 cm squared. Okay, then what's next? We need to count the number of faces. Okay, so how normally for counting of solids, how do I go about doing it? I go about it in looking at each of the 6 orientations: front, back, left, right, top, bottom. So when I count it like that, I make sure that I covered all ends. Okay, and it's easier for me to visualize like that. Okay, some of you guys may go by individual cubes. Like you all see the first cube, then how many faces? That cube, how many faces? That cube, how many faces? Can as in it's not wrong. It's not wrong. But I feel that if you have too many cubes, you might miscount. And then if there are some hidden cubes, you might also miss out. So I don't really teach that to my students. I normally go by orientation, which is much more clearer that way. Okay. So this one I put it here first. Number of faces. In fact, for planning, I always teach my students, right, to always write it at the left side. Okay, and then my working will write it on here. Yeah, so everything is much more neater. Okay, so let's go and count the faces here. Okay, so we look at the front view first. That means we see from the front. We see from the front. We see from the front is 4. Okay, we see from the back is also 4. We see from the right side is actually 6. We see from the other side is also 6. 6 as well. Then you see from the top is 4. The bottom will also be 4. So you see that as long as at the end of the day, I get all 6 numbers, I'm good to go. So the number of faces will be 6 plus 6 plus 16, because this 16 comes from 4 fours. Okay, so along the way, you can actually do some calculations on your own already. Okay, so the answer will be 28 faces. Okay, another way we can also look into calculating and tabulating all this quickly, right? For me, I always teach grouping of tens. So I see 6 and 4 is 10. 6 and 4, 20. So whatever left, 28. Like that also can. Okay, so I like to group in tens, easier to count as well. Okay, so there are 28 faces. So the total surface area will be 28 times 1 cm square. Answer 28 cm square. The last step still looks redundant. Why? Because people still think, oh, 28 times 1 just 28 lor. Then I count 28 faces and I can write already lor. Why need to do that 1 cm square? Because it is to re-emphasize that this is a 1 cm cube. In the other instances, they tell you 2 cm cube, 3 cm cube, 4 cm cube. People will miss it out. Okay, so this is just to standardize the solving process. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, for this question 29. Okay, question 30, angles. MNQ and QOP are identical equilateral triangles. Very important. Equilateral triangles. So let's go and identify them first. MNQ means here, here, and here. QOP also equilateral. Here, here, and here. Okay, so go and draw everything first. Do we need to indicate 60? No need. When we indicate all the lines, right, it already implies that all those are 60. In fact, the more 60s you write, the more confusing you will get because there are more and more numbers. Okay, we are just making the minimal amount of annotations that allows us to capture all the information from the question into the diagram. Okay, it's not to indicate everything, it's to indicate the most efficient ones. Okay, so find PMQ. Let's log in onto this angle here. What is this angle? Very interesting. So there's a couple of things we actually need to do. We also have a 78. Okay, but after indicating all the lines that to indicate the equilateral triangle, we must also observe something new, which is NOQ is actually now an isosceles triangle. Can you see it? So now if I were to do a highlight, it will look like that. Then you see QN is equals to QO. And that makes NQO an isosceles triangle. And that is where we start solving the problem. Okay, so let me try to thin the highlight bit. Yeah, like that. Easier. Okay, so from here we can solve a lot of things really. How? Because our idea, okay, so for same thing, let's come up with a plan first. Let's come up with a plan. The plan here is to find NQO. Why? To find NQO. I want to come over here so that if you see carefully, MQP is also isosceles triangle as well. So and the angle that we're looking for is the base angle of this isosceles triangle. So actually our objective of finding NQO is to find MQP. That means after this I need to find MQP. Can follow? After finding MQP, then we can find our PMQ already. So same thing, come up with a plan and work with it. Okay, let's go. So in order to find, let's find NQO. It will be 180 minus 78 minus 78. Will be 180 minus 156. That will be 24. Okay. So at the same time, then we look for MQP. MQP is that whole big angle there, the big white angle there. So it's actually made out of 24 plus 2 60s. If you realize, this is where the 60s come in. So this one is 60. This one is 60. This will help us find the big angle. All right, so it's 24 plus 60 plus 60, which is 24 plus 120 is 144. Then we can find what we are looking for, which is PMQ, which is 180 minus 144 divided by 2. Okay, so answer 18. 36 divided by 2, 18. So this is how you solve for question 30. Okay, come up with a plan. Angle questions are the best questions for you to train how to plan. Okay, so use this question, go and see what are the things you have on the diagram currently, what are the things that you need to find, to identify that you need to find, and what are the things that you can find. Okay, what is possible? Okay, I always teach my students what is possible. Okay, you must be able to see the different possibilities from that question itself, whether or not the question is asking for it. Okay, you must at least know that, okay, I can find this, I can find that. So which one do I use to help me solve for this particular question? That is the idea. Okay. So with that, we come to the end of paper 1. Okay, paper 1. It's about it's about 1 hour plus. Okay, half an hour, I think. I'm not sure how long did I took already. But yeah. But normally from what we share here, the pacing that I'm going through here is the approximate pacing for you if you were to do the paper on your own. So if you are following me and you're writing it the same speed and the same pacing as me for you to complete your paper, you are good to go. If you are slower than me, then you are slightly in the danger zone. That means you need to buck up, number 1 in the calculations, number 2 in the observation process. Okay. So normally when I will do these papers on my own with all these mental calculation techniques, normally for one paper, which is I think one paper is about booklet A and B is 1 hour. If you were to follow my pacing here, you will take no more than 35 minutes. I say again, you will take no more than 35 minutes. At most, if you are slightly slower and more cautious, 45 minutes. If you are for a 1 hour paper, if you are taking 1 hour to finish it, you are too slow. Okay, you need to go and give yourself some ample buffer time for you to look through everything and check through everything, like your calculations lah, like your plan lah. These things needs time to go through and check. Otherwise, if you are using the entire 1 hour to just reach the last question, that means you have no time to check already. Okay, no time to check already. Okay, so this is for paper 1. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to paper 2. Paper 2 is the bigger part of the paper, about 1.5 hours. Okay, so same thing. If you follow my pacing, you will be able to do this by about an hour, also enough already. Okay. Okay, just nice. Now is the time now is 11. The time now is 11. Okay lah. Then let's see how much can we do this paper lah. Okay, let's start. A path of 1 meter wide is built around a rectangular pond. The area of the pond, okay, they show us that the breadth of the whole figure is 3 and 7, 8. Okay, so we find the pond, and the length here is 6 meters. So there's a few things we can find. Number 1, okay, let's quickly write down the plan as well. I want to find the length of pond. I want to find the breadth of pond. Then I find area pond. Okay, in exam, can you write this as well? Yes, you can. Okay, just right. Okay, I have students who wrote this plan, who started writing plans in our working as young as P4 from fail to become 70% in just one exam, just by writing plans, because it allows them to be very clear what they are working on first. It's instant. Okay, so go and have a habit of writing plans. Okay, so we want to find the length of the pond. So length. Okay, why I change marker? Okay, actually doesn't matter now. Okay, length. So as you can see, the length is 6 meters minus 1 on the left, minus 1 on the right. So it's actually 4 meters. Okay, the breadth will be 3 and 7 over 8 meters, minus 1 on the top, minus 1 below. So it's actually 1 and 7 over 8 meters. Now is to find the area. Area is 4 times 1 and 7 over 8 meters. Okay, normally how I teach people to do multiplication of fractions with whole numbers is to convert the fraction to improper. Then we go and do about it. So like that. Easier this way lah. So when we are multiplying, right, we are only multiplying the denominator. But before we do that, do you see that there are certain things that we can actually cancel and simplify? The 4 and 8 can be cancelled and simplified. So I'm left with 15 over 2. 15 over 2 is 7.5. Or you can just write 7.5 meter square. That's my answer. So for this, give your answer in the mixed number in the simplest form. Good, 7.5. Okay, so you see when we simplify fractions like that, everything gets easier, much easier. Okay, let's continue. 2/5 of our students in the class are boys. 2/3 of the girls have long hair. What fraction of our students in class are girls with short hair? So you can see, like I mentioned earlier on, the purposes of fractions. This one is the proportion one where you need to draw model because it's only off. But the of what is important. 2/5 is of the students. 2/3 is of the girls. Okay, so this is important. They are of different things. Okay, so we need to make sure we draw the model and we establish the relationship correctly. So 2/3 of students in the class are boys. Draw the 2/5 first. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not very accurate. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter lah. Okay, 2/5 are boys. Okay, so these are boys. These are girls. 2/3 of the girls have long hair. I know that most of you will say, hey, 2/3 ma, now girls left 3 units. I just cut inside, can or not? My philosophy, no, don't cut. Draw a new one. Then you say, why is same one? Okay, now it's same. Now it's easy. Next time when you see bigger fractions where you cannot cut, right? You cut until or some units got cut, some units never cut, then you blur. Okay, so for standardization for all questions all the way to P6 PSLE, just don't cut. Don't cut. Okay? Just draw a new layer. When they say when they say the list of the girls is only of a portion of the total, just draw a new layer. It's easier that way. So 2/3 of the girls have long hair. What fraction of students are girls with short hair, which is this one? Okay, so to standardize the working, how does it look like? So girls, short hair. I write here short hair is 1/3 of the girls, and then the girls is 3/5 of the total. So this is 1/3 of girls. This is of total. So from here we simplify like that. Answer 1/5. Answer 1/5. Okay, it looks very simple and all my workings here looks very redundant. But trust me, when you see bigger fractions where you cannot cut evenly, right, this working will come into play. As you do more questions, you will get to see it. And you go to P6, you will get to see even more. Okay, so make sure we standardize our working now here first. Okay, so this is question 2. Clear? Answer 1/5 lah. Okay, next. Okay, draw a parallelogram A, B, C, D. Label the point D. When they say parallelogram, we need to go and recall what are the properties of parallelogram. All right, so I just write it here. So number 1, it has 2 pairs of parallel lines. Okay, in fact, that is the only property. The rest of the thing, all the sum of angles add up to 360 lah. There are 4 sides there are 4 angles all these are general properties of quadrilaterals. I'm talking about things that is uniquely to parallelogram. Okay, so what's important here is 2 pairs of parallel lines. As you can see, is like a rectangle, but you tilt it sideways. Okay, so from here, ABC has been drawn. Okay, so thankfully ABC has been drawn. So I draw a line here. Let me see if I can adjust it a bit. Should be can okay, this is nice. Okay, at the same time, how do we draw the other one then? So you see that from line BC, because line BC, the distance, the length of BC will be the same as line AD. So it also be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's here. Okay, so I use ruler buster also. What? Okay, done like that. And then at the same time, we connect for C and D. Okay, agak like that ah. So this is D. And you must label ah. Don't draw already, don't label ah. If you teachers are strict in this sense that if you don't label, they mark you wrong. Some teachers are very anal on this. So make sure you follow the instructions. Draw the parallelogram, label. Label the point D. D. The D must be visible. Oh? Okay, next. Mr. Tan has a total of 88 apples, orange, and pears. The number of apples to the number of pears is 5 to 2. Okay, Mr. Tan has fewer oranges than pears. Not possible to tell. Because we don't know, they never tell us anything about oranges. The total number of units for apple. Okay, this is a reasoning question. So we listen carefully to my reasoning. They never mention anything about oranges. They only know that apples and pears are 5 to 2. But knowing that it's 5 to 2 doesn't tell me the number of units for oranges. Because the total number of apples and pears can be 7. Maybe there are just 5 apples and 2 pears. We don't know one. Or it could be more. Maybe their total is 84 because that's the biggest multiple of 7 units. There is 2 ways it can go, so it's not possible to tell. Okay. B. Mr. Tan has more apples than pear. This one confirm yes, because it's ratio 5 to 2. Because they already mentioned apples to pear is 5 to 2. So apple got 5 units, pear got 2 units. So apple confirm more than pear. Okay. C. Mr. Tan has 7 apples and pear altogether. This is what I mentioned earlier on. It could be, maybe, but it could be more. Because it just means there are 7 units here. Apples and pears have 7 units, but it doesn't tell me that it has 7 quantity, like 7 items. Because it could be 14. It could be 28. It could be 35 for all we know. We have, and as long as the number is below 88, anything can happen. So answer, not possible to tell. Okay, quite interesting question. A lot of people will fall prey into this by understanding one is quantity, one is proportion. You see, it's still hovering around quantity and proportion. This 5 to 2 is proportion. So 1 unit can refer to anything, but this one here is a quantity. This one is a definite quantity. So we cannot just link it just like that. It is possible, but it could be other things as well. So it's not possible to tell. Okay, so listen, this is a reasoning question. So what we say and how we process it in our minds is very important. Okay, so let's move on. Question 5. Dion glued 11 unit cubes together to form the solid below. Which 2 views are the same? Okay, we have a top view, we have a side view, we have a front view. So very interesting. How do we see this? Okay, a nicer way is to just draw. Okay, just draw a bit of a sketch. Okay, from top view, we see that there will be 4. There will be a 4 like that, and then at the side, there will be 3. 1, 2, 3 like that. So this is the top view. The side view there will be a 4 and then with a 1. So with a 4, and then there will be a 1 to the left of it. Then the front, the front will also be a 4, and then with 1 to the left of it. So these 2 are the same. So it's front view and side view. This one no need to think so much. Just visualize and draw. Just visualize and draw. They will not penalize you for drawing or not drawing. Just draw to make yourself see better. Okay? Draw the view in the square grid below. See? Like that, I told you already. So you draw it in front, just copy lah. Anyway, it's here already. This is the photocopy floor lah. So anyway, it's here. Okay? Can. This one don't need to talk much more lah, Okay, let's move on. Question 6 to 17. These are the problem sum questions. This is the real thing that a lot of people will fall prey into. So listen up carefully. All the workings must be clear. All the plans must be clear. So let's focus on this paper. Okay. 2 rectangular tanks are shown. Tank X is half filled with water. All the water from X goes to Y. What fraction of the Y is filled with water now? So there's a few things you need to find. Number 1, We need to find the volume of X. Correct? And then what fraction? And we also need to find, we can also find the volume of Y. That means the full volume of Y. Then we can find the fraction already. Okay, so let's go and write out the full working. So first of all, volume of X. Okay, since they have said that this tank is half filled with water, very important, not full. So it's actually half times 12 times 10 times 15. Okay, this one can cancel off is 9, 6. So it's 90, 900 meter cube of water. Okay, if you are not sure, paper 2, if you cannot do mental calculation, press calculator. Paper 2 can use calculator. So if you cannot mental calculate, it doesn't matter. Press calculator. Make sure you get the correct stuff. Okay, and so this is 900 meter cube in X. So all of X goes into Y. Okay, so we can find the volume of Y, which is 15 times 15 times 18. This one is okay, this one not sure how to do mental calculation, doesn't matter. Press calculator. So this one is should be 4050 if I am not wrong. You see, even teachers also press calculator. Just press, doesn't matter. If you can do mental calculation, good for you. What's this? Okay, so it's 15 times 15 times 18. Okay, just to show you on the calculator as well, you get 4050. I'm correct on this. Okay, 4050. Okay, 4050 meter cube. So what is the fraction? Okay, the get a fraction now will be, so it'll be 900 over 4050 times 100%. So 900 divided by 4050 times 100. You will get this. 22 and 2 over 9. Give your answer in the simplest form. So this shall be the answer. So it's 22 and 2 over 9%. Okay. Of course, are there other ways to do this? Can, of course. We want to find the water height. Let's say the plan is that you know that the X is 900 meter cube. You want to use this to go and straight away find the water level in tank Y. Then use the water level over 18, which is the full water height. Can or not? Can. 100% can. Go ahead. What we are sharing here is the, in a way, is more for the majority of students. For those of you who can see things differently, as long as you get 22 and 2 over 9, we are good to go. So don't need to be too hard up about it. Okay? Okay, next. 7. A shop was having a sale. Discount 15%. Usual price 1740. Madam Salina want to buy the bicycle at a discounted price, but she was short of 153. How much money did Madam Salina have? Quite straightforward. Okay. Once again, let's do up a plan. Well, we say that she's short of money. We must know that how much is she targeting to buy, ma? All right. So we must know the discounted price. The buying, or I say cost after discount. Okay. Then we say how much she have. Okay, so the idea of a plan, right, is for you to write some certain short phrases and short statements, right, to just signal you on what you need to find. Okay, so let's go into here. Discount of 15%, usual price 1,740, which means what? I take away 15%. How many percent are you paying for? So the cost is 85% of 1,740. This one important. I take away 15% means I only pay 85%. Okay, so I find it 0.85 times 1,740. You get 1,479. Okay, 1,479. Okay, so from here, this is what she needs to save towards to buy. Okay, but she's still short of 153. So I can just write Salina equals to 1479 minus 153. So it should be 1326. Same thing, this one can mental calculate. There are certain ways you can do it. Okay. For me, I see if I see a numbers from left to right, so I can generate the answer straight away. So answer is 1326. All these techniques will be shared with everyone in my year-end workshop. So make sure you sign up for it. Okay, next. Question 8. STUV is a rhombus. UV equal to UW. STU 100. Then TUW 98. Okay, so most of the things are there. But one is more important. It is a rhombus. When we see rhombus, always annotate on diagram what is a rhombus. A rhombus comes from a tilted square. That means all sides are the same. All sides are equal. Okay, so this allows us to find a lot of things really. Find UWV. UWV, where is it? It's here. Okay, at the same time, UV equals to UW. Let's indicate this one as well. So if you see, it forms a isosceles triangle. So what else do we have? Did they say it's a straight line? No, they didn't say it's a straight line. But let's see, what else do we have? Looks like a trapezium though. It should be a trapezium. No, I don't think it's a trapezium. 98, 110. Oh, TUW is 98. So we need to very clear. So this is the diagram is not very clear. This whole thing is 98. So we can find a lot of things really. Okay. So same thing. Let's write the plan. Okay. So you see from here, we know that UWV is a base angle of an isosceles triangle. That means we need to go and find VUW first. We need to find this. But in order to find this, we need to find this. And this one can we find? This one can find. Can find means that means the plan come out already. Okay, so we first of all we need to find TUV. Okay, I shift the plan here. Find TUV first, then we can find VUW. Okay, VUW. Then we can find VWU or UWV. Same thing. UWV. Okay, so this is my plan, my 3-step plan. So let's get started. So first of all, angle TUV will be 180 minus 110, which is 70. Why? Because these two are parallel lines as well. As we do parallel lines, we can just cut through. That means this angle will be the same as this angle. Okay, let me just zoom in here. A bit messy here. So this angle. These two will add up to 180. Okay? This is what I call the parallel gateway. Once you understand this parallel gateway, a lot of things can be solved already. Okay, so answer is 70. So at the same time, we continue to find angle UV, UW. You see, notice I'm just copying from the plan itself. So when we have a plan, it's easier. Okay, it will be 98 minus 70. That will be 28 degrees. So that means this little part is 28. Then from here, we can find UWV, which is 180 minus 28 divided by 2 because they are the base angles of a isosceles triangle. So it will be 152 divided by 2. That will be 76. Answer 76. Sorry, my handwriting not very nice. Okay, like that. So you see, when you have a clear plan, the statements will be very clear. And then when you look through your working and check through again, you are very clear what you're doing. Because when we check, what do we check for? We check for plan, number one. If we were to redo the question again, does your plan make sense? And would you be carrying out the same plan? That's number one. Number two, check for units. Is your units correct? Number three, check for sense, common sense. Yeah, let's say you don't know this question, you don't hunt down and put 100, right? UWV looks just like an acute angle. It's acute angle. You won't put 120. Okay, that's called sense. Number four, handwriting. Make sure your answer is legible. So PUSH, plan unit sense handwriting. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, that's for question 8. Let's move on. Question 9. 3 years ago, the Andrew's age to Bala's age ratio 1:5. The total age now is 54. How old was Andrew 3 years ago? Okay, so this one, once again, we have a plan. This one is on ratio lah. So when they say 3 years ago, their age now is 54. So 3 years ago, both of them will decrease by 3 years. Okay, so you need to understand their total age 3 years ago. Okay, then we can go and find Andrew 3 years ago already. It's actually a 2-step plan. Andrew 3 years ago. Okay, first of all, the total age now is 54. I say again, now is 54. 3 years ago, let's say me and you watching the video, both of us we add together 54. 3 years ago, you minus 3. I also minus 3. Therefore, our total age will minus by 6. All right, so the total age 3 years ago will be 54 minus 6, which is 48. Can follow? That is when these 6 units because 1 unit, because 3 years ago is 1:5 ma. So the 6 units here is the 48. So how old was Andrew 3 years ago? That is 1 unit, 8 years old. So it's just 48 divided by 6. Or you can just use L method. Whatever it takes, okay, it's the same. 8 years old. Can? Okay, moving on. Question 10. First hour 8:50. Every additional half an hour 380. City paid 31.30 for renting a bicycle from 9:15 a.m. What is the latest time could she have returned a bicycle to the shop? Okay, for this kind of questions, very common. Very common. The most straightforward way and the most efficient way is to draw a timeline. Must draw timeline. Then it looks like that. Then you go and mark out the way, you write up the timings and all these things. You go and do it here. Okay, at first it start at 9:15. So for the first hour, confirm got first hour one because you paid more than 850 already. All right, so the first hour must be there. That is 850. Now then it becomes 10:15. Now the big question is, from 10:15 to whatever time that she returned the bicycle, how long did it take? And how do we find the duration? Is through the amount of money here. Okay, so now this is where we break it down to the individual rates that they pay for. Okay, the first hour is 850, which is here. So with the remaining hours here, we must understand is, what we understand is there are certain number of blocks of half hour. But we don't know how many blocks. How many blocks is what we need to find. But we know that this amount of blocks multiplied by 380 will form up the remaining amount of what we need to pay for. In this case, it will be 31.30 minus 850. We must have the idea in mind. With this idea in mind, you will know what you need to solve. Okay, so from here, we go and find the remaining blocks. So it will be 31.30 minus 850. So this one should be 22.80. This one anyway can press calculator. Okay, no need to think too much. 22.80. So you all can see. Yeah, 22.8. Okay, 22.8. Okay, so that means the remaining amount of time, right, make up to be 22.80. So now the question is, how many blocks of 22.80 are there? That is what we need to go and find. Okay, so blocks equals to 2280 divided by 380. You will get a whole number. In this case, it should be 6. So 2280 divided by 380. I'm not fooling you, you get 6. Okay, that means 6 blocks. 6 blocks of how long? 6 blocks of half an hour. Okay, so I can just write here 6 blocks times half an hour. You realize that 1 block is half an hour, 2 blocks is 1 hour. So 6 blocks is 3 hours. That means the total time here is 3 hours. So what is the latest time? They're asking for latest time. That means it's 3 hours after 10:15 p.m. 10:15 a.m. 3 hours after 10:15 a.m. So the idea will be 1:15 p.m. Okay, so most people still go and do timeline, jump 1 hour, jump 1 hour, jump 1 hour. Actually, don't need. Why? The key to counting time efficiently, right, is to master your 24 hour. Because 10 plus 3, 13. 13 means 1 p.m. This is how you count like that. Okay. You will be able to appreciate this more when you go to army, because in army everything is 24-hour based. So when you are very clear and very familiar with 24-hour timing, you'll be able to count time much faster. So 3 hours, 3 hours is 10 plus 3. So in a way it's the 13 hour lah. 13 hour 1315 means 1:15 p.m. A bit of an army knowledge here, but it really helps a lot. But it helps me to appreciate time as well. Okay, so understand your 24-hour clock. It will help you a lot. Okay, so answer 1:15. That's for question 10. Okay. Okay, next. The number for each type of cookies sold at the fun fair. The prices: $130, $190, $160, $2. The type of cookies sold at the fun fair is shown at the graph. The store collected $134.40 from the sale of vanilla. Draw in a bar graph the vanilla. So this one quite straightforward. The vanilla is 1340. So vanilla, if we go back to see what's the pricing of one vanilla, it's actually 160, which is here. All right, so we just need to take 134.4 divided by 160. Okay, so 134.4 divided by 160. You should get a whole number, 84. Okay, 84. Indicate in the graph, so you can see that it's actually up to here. Okay, some people go and shade until damn nice, like what is given, like shade until like some coloring competition. Don't need, I say again, don't need, just shade can already. Okay, just need to know until here, then continue all the way down 就可以了. Okay, please don't go and waste your precious time, go and shade until like some shading competition. Please don't. Just shade like that can already. Okay, 84 cookies. Which type of cookies did the store collect the most money from the sale, and what is the amount collected? So this one no choice, need to go and do for everything. Okay, so normally when we see this kind of bar graph, it's always the best for you to write down the numbers that you read off the graph. Helps us in our calculations much faster as well. Okay, so you see each of them increased by how many? Increased by, let's take a closer look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 gaps. All right, 5 gaps. You see, and each interval is 20. So there are 5 gaps. That means every one interval increased by 4. That means the next one is 84. Okay, so this one will be 96. Why? Because it's 4 less than 100. Okay, and so this is 64, 68, 72. 72. This one you calculate earlier on, 84. This one is 1 below 40, so it's 36. Okay, so at least we write these numbers. Later when we do the calculation, it's much more easier. So let's go and find the individual one of them already. Collect the most money. And then there are 2 brackets. So apparently there are 2 numbers that will give me the same amount. But I need to go and check for everything. Check for everything. Okay. So let's go for chocolate first. Chocolate means 96 times 130. Okay, 96 times 130, you get 124.8. 124.8. Okay, So this is for chocolate. Then for blueberry is 72. 72 times 190. 72 times 72 times 190. We get 136.8. Okay. Then the vanilla will be 84 times 160. 84 times 160. Okay, which is 134. 1.6, so it's 134.4. And then lastly for the oat will be 36 times $2. Okay, 36 times $2, $72. Okay, so from here, which type of cookies in the store collect the most money? What was the total amount of money collected? So, there are two blanks because one is to identify which store, which type. One is to identify the most amount. So which type, which one is the most? Okay, blueberry. Blueberry. How much did it collected? 136.8. Okay. And for a moment, I thought that there are two stores that got the same amount of money, but it's okay. Because they are asking two things. One is which type, one is how much. Okay, so answer is this one. Ding. Okay. Yeah, just press calculate only. This one don't think too much. If you cannot mental calculate, it's okay. Press calculator. Make sure you copy the correct numbers can liao. Next. The perimeter is made of a square and two identical triangles. The perimeter of the figure is 240. The area of the square is 1600. Find the length of PQ. Okay, this one actually quite straightforward. Why? Because we can already identify the area of square is 1600. So when you say 1600, when you memorize your squares and cubes, you can straight away find the length of a square. Find the length of PQ. Okay, so the plan here is to find the length of square. Okay, and then from there we can find the rest, we can find PQ already. That's the plan. So to find the length of the square, I write square length will be the square root of 1600 will be 40. In fact, you don't even need to write this also. So you can just straight away write down it's 40 because you memorize your squares and cubes. You don't memorize, then you go to scratch your head. Then you need to use this square root thing. Okay, so this is 40. Let's write it down. This is 40. This is 40. So at the same time, we can find the rest as well. If we understand, we can also find these two. Okay, so 100 minus 40 divided by 2 because there are two identical triangles. So we can find the base of triangle, which is 100 minus 40 divided by 2, which is 30. That means one side here is 30, this is 30. Then now they tell us that the perimeter of figure is 240. Then we will be able to find two PQs. That means two sets of PQ will be 240 minus 100, okay, minus the 40. In fact, the 30 also not needed. Maybe we see later, okay? So it's actually is 100 cm. So therefore, PQ will be 100 divided by 2, 50. Okay, so this is 50. Okay. So next, B, find the area of one triangle. See, this is where we need to bring in the 30 already. Okay, so we know that we bring in the one from here, basically. So we're going to write down base of triangle is 100 minus 30 divided by 2. That is, 100 you have minus 40, sorry. This is what we did exactly the same like the before one. But now we're going to use it here. Because the area of one triangle would be area equal to half times the base times the height. The height is not 50, the height is 40. Why? Perpendicular. If we go back to the diagram, we are looking at half times base times height, which is here, 40. Can? So the answer will be, I cancel here and here, it will be 600 cm square. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Anything not sure, must ask. Okay? Okay, B, 13. Rectangle 没有 four triangles, A, B, C, D. A is 1/10 of the rectangle. B is 1/5 of the rectangle. The total area of A and B is 105. What is the length of the rectangle? There are multiple ways we can look at this, okay? The first thing that I saw is slightly different from the intended answer key already. But there are certain things we can solve from here. So area of A is 1/10 of the area of triangle. So let's indicate this first. So this is 1/10. B is 1/5. The total area of A and B is 105. Okay? So that means we can say that 1/10 of total plus 1/5 of total gives me 105. And this one, because they are of the same quantity, they are of the same total. So when we were to add we can add the fractions together. Okay, so 1/10 plus 1/5, you get 3 out of 10 of the total. Because this one is actually 2 out of 10 equals to 105 meter square. So can you find the length of rectangle? Can. But before we find the length of rectangle, we need to find the area of the triangle. Area of rectangle. Okay, wait, let me just quickly reply first. Okay, so in order to find the area of rectangle, then we can find the length because we are already given the breadth. The breadth is 14. So later we use that. Okay. So now is 3/10 is 105. We are finding 10/10. So 3 units is 105. What are we finding? We are finding 10 units. So it's 10/3 times 105. 105 divided by 3 is 35. So it's 350 meter square. So what is the length? The length is quite easy already because the length times 14 gives me 350. So the length will be 350 divided by 14. That will be my answer. So 350 divided by 14, you'll get 25 meter. Okay? Okay. Next part is the one that I think will kill a lot of people. The total area of A and B. A and B. Interesting, they never tell me anything about the fraction of C and D. They never tell me. Then how? Then how? This is where the new clue comes in. Based on the construct of diagram, if you must be able to notice that B plus C, I say again, the key is where B plus C makes half the rectangle. Then it's like, huh? Why? How do you know? Okay, let's go back to C. Do you see that B and C actually covered the full base and the full height? So if you were to see B and C combined together as one big triangle, do you see it's actually half of the whole rectangle? This is what we need to see. What does that mean? That means from here, A plus D makes the other half. Okay, let that sink in a bit. Okay, go back to that question and see. Okay, so A and D makes up the other half because B and C makes up half. So A and D makes up the other half. So once we know this, it's very clear already. Why? That's why it's only a 1 mark question. You must be able to notice this. So just now earlier on, we found the area of the rectangle, which is 350 meters square. So therefore, the total area of A plus D is actually 350 divided by 2, 175. Because B plus C makes up half. So A plus D makes up the other half. So of course, in the reasoning, in our working, you don't need to write the two statements. The two statements is for us to tell you to notice this. Can? So actually A plus D is just half of the whole rectangle. Okay? Because B plus C when combined together makes up half. Important. Okay? Okay, if you really need to stop and pause this video and go and observe the diagram, please do so. Okay, and then go back to my working here. Can? Okay, I'll move on already. Question 14. Peter and Jane have a total of 812. 1/4 of money is 68 more than 1/5 of Jane's money. How much more money does Peter have than Jane? Now, these kind of questions are the best way, same thing. If you see fraction, draw model. Must draw model. If you don't draw model, you can't see this. Okay, so let me show you how it works. Peter and Jane have a total of 812. 1/4 of Peter's money is 68 more than 1/5 of Jane's money. We don't know how much is that. But at least we know that if I were to take the Peter money, I cut to 4. Okay? 1/4 of money is 68 more. I'm just going to focus on 1 unit. 1 unit. Okay, this is Peter. 1 unit. If I will zoom into this 1 unit here, it's 68 more than 1/5. So imagine if today I have what's the other guy name? Jane. I'm going to draw a smaller model. And this is 68 smaller. This is Jane. Can I understand? Okay, so this is 1/5 of Jane's money. That means this is what the bottom 1 unit is 1 unit of Jane. And Jane has how many? He has 5. Jane has 5 units. So that means if I were to duplicate 1 unit for this, I call this one instance. This is one group where I compare. If I were to duplicate this, something interesting will occur already. I'm going to draw a 68. This is 2. I'm going to draw a 68. This is 3. I'm going to draw a 68. This is 4. Can you see? Now, but the thing is that I need to draw 1 more unit for Jane because Jane has 5 units because this is 1/5. So I draw another one. Just a random one. Like that. And the total is 812. Okay? Make sure you understand this, okay? Understand this model or what's going on, then we'll continue. Okay? So once we understand this model, it's quite straightforward already because you see, if I were to take out all the excess differences, all the remaining units will be equal already. Okay, so what we need to do here is actually 68 times 4 because there are 4 68 there. Okay, so it's 68 times 4. So it's 24272. Okay, 68 times 4, 272. Like that. Okay, so if we take out these excess differences, the remaining 9 units will be the same. So we take 9 units equals to 812 minus 272. That will be 540. 540. Okay? 540. So 1 unit. So how much more money does Peter have than Jane? So from here you can find a lot of things really. You can find the number of Peter, then you can find Jane, then you can find a difference. It's quite straightforward. Okay? So if 9 units is 540, 1 unit will be 540 divided by 9. That will be 60 bucks. Okay, that means for Jane, because it has 5 units only, 5 units, so it's 60 times 5, which is 300. At the same time, we will also be able to find Peter. Peter will just be 812 minus 300, and that will be 512. So we can find a difference already. Will be 512 minus 300 will be 212. That's the idea. Okay, so I rotate this screen over. Should be able to let you all see better. Like that. Yes. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, so the solving part is quite straightforward. It's the constructing of the model that we need to understand better. Need to understand more. 1/4 of money is 68 more than 1/5. So we can draw the first instance to be like that. Then we can duplicate more. Okay. So the key here is how do we construct the model. If you need to review this a couple of times, we watch the video a couple of times. Okay, make sure you get it. Okay, so the yellow part is one instance. Maybe I separate it out by using another color. So this is second instance, second group. This is like a third group. Then maybe I repeat the color. This one fourth group. But then there'll be one more unit at the back. One more unit at the back because it's 1/5. Because J got 5 units. Just now we use 4 units to go and compare already. Then got one group, got one more group. Okay. Another way of drawing this model, which I don't really recommend, is to draw vertical models. That means right, this is just an idea, just a passing idea. This is 68. And then what Peter have is 4 units. Like that. Okay. This bulk is Jane. Then this bulk is Peter. Another one at the bottom is Jane. So Jane is 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Like that is 812. You will see the same thing anyway. But quite rare that we see vertical models. Never really need to use vertical models. Unless the number of units is like way too big, 15, 20, 30, 7, this kind of thing. Then you can consider this. 4 and 5 don't need. Okay, that's the idea. But good to know, good to know. Okay, can. So the answer for this question is 212. Oops. Okay, so let's move on. Question 15. Number patterns. Number patterns important. Okay. And there's a few things that we need to take note. There's a few things you need to take note. A few sequence of numbers that we take note. Okay. So complete the table below. Okay. 1, 3, 5, 7, obviously. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, obviously, because all plus 2 lah. Okay. 0, number of squares. If you look at number of squares, you see it's actually 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5. So these are called square numbers. Okay, when you see 1, 4, 9, 16, don't you need to step out of +3, +5, +7 already. You need to step out of it already. Okay, really. So 1, 4, 9, 16. Then 1, 4, 9, 16. 25. So find a number of squares for figure 15. So that means somewhere down the road, we are looking at somewhere here, somewhere down the road here. Find a number of squares. So you have number of squares, right? For figure 15. So I take 15 minus 1. Then I take the whole number, I square it. So it's 196. Memorize your squares, you will get this already. Anyway, you can press calculator. Oh? So answer 196. Okay. Okay, next. A figure in the pattern has 57 circles. What is the figure number? Okay, give some time to think about it. Okay, so from here, a figure in the pattern has 57 circles. It means somewhere down the road in the first row, we are looking at number of circles. Here, 57. Okay, so interestingly, you see that they are jumping, they're all odd numbers. They're all odd numbers. Okay, so for odd numbers, is how do we help to find the relationship between the figure number and number of circles? If you look carefully from here, is we take the figure number, we times 2, and then minus 1. That's the idea. Okay, so you see 2 times 2 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7. So we follow this pattern. So figure times some figure number, we don't know what figure number it is, times 2 minus 1 gives me 57. So the figure number times 2 gives me 58. So what is the figure number then? 29. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, they haven't learned algebra yet. There's proper formulas. There's proper formulas to learn for such number patterns. But I don't want to teach it here yet. For those of you who already know, by maybe I teach you all during your home tuition or whatsoever, good for you. Okay, but for now, for the majority of you guys who are not my students and watching this video, just look into the observation of how the figure number relates to the number of circles. Okay, try to experiment with various multiplication, maybe times 2, times 3, times 4, like that. Okay, can? Okay, let's move on. 16. There are some 20-cent and 50-cent coins in a container. There are 14 fewer 50-cents than 20-cent coins. The total amount of money in the container is 52.50. How many 50-cent coins are there? Okay, this one is a very interesting question. What is the concept here? The concept here is actually grouping. Okay, it's for grouping. In Chinese, we call it 打包. 打包 means what? That means we need to find what is the idea here is to find one group. After we find one group, we find the number of groups. Then we find unknowns, whatever they are asking us for. That's the idea for grouping. Grouping. Okay. So, however, in order to apply grouping concept into this question, we need to do something first. We need to do some adjustments. Why? Because there is the number of 50-cent, the number of coins are not equal. So we need to make them equal first. Then we can compare. Okay. There are 14 fewer 50-cent coins than 20-cent coins. So let me just do a very simple model to further illustrate this. 14 fewer 50-cent coins, that means there are 20 cent, there are 14 more 20-cent coins, like that. So the first thing that we need to do, right, is to at least take out this one. When we take this out, whatever that is remaining, right, will be an equal number of 20-cent and 50-cent coins. Then we can do grouping. Otherwise, like that, we don't know how many. Okay, so the first step that we need to do is to do 14 times 20 cents, which is $2.80. And then we take this $2.80 away from this current total. So with 52.50, minus 280. It will be 49.70. Okay, so let's reinforce again. What does this $49.70 means? It means okay, I just use another color. It means an equal number of 20 cent and 50-cent coins. We don't know how many, but we know for an equal number of 20-cent coins and 50-cent coins, they will come together to become $49.70. This is what you need to know. Okay, so from here, this is the point where we start to use grouping. So in one group, I always teach my students to write one group because it's equal number. What we are focusing here is equal number. That means I need to have the minimum one group, the smallest one group will be 1 times 20-cent coin and 1 times 50-cent coin. Okay, so for this one group, since they are asking and they are exploring about the total, we need to go and find the total of this one group. In this case, will be 20 cent plus 50 cent to be 70 cents. We can also put in the working here as well. So 20 cent plus 50 cent is 70 cents. So that means one group is 70 cents. Now the question here is, how many groups are there? So we are looking for the number of groups, which is 49.70 divided by 70 cents. Okay, divided by 70 cents. Then you will get 71 groups. 71 groups. Okay, 71. So that means, right, there are 71 of such a group, 71 of this group. Okay, so from here, let's continue. How many 50-cent coins are there? Since we are already coming to 71 groups, that means the number of coins here is 71 and the number of coins here is 71. Because I have removed the amount of 14 coins, 14 20-cent coins, we've already removed them away already. So whatever is remaining, which adds up to $49.70 in value, that means it's made of 71 of such groups. So in one group, there is only one 50-cent coin. That means the number of 50-cent coins will be 71 groups times 1 equals to 71 coins. Where does this 1 come from? It looks redundant, times 1 same number, but why is it important? Because it is to reinforce that in one group, there is one 50-cent coin, which is this one. This is what is important here. Okay, in other instances, there may be possibilities where one group have 2 coins, 2 times 50-cent coin, and different numbers. This one easy, one coin each. Okay, but in future, when you see more grouping, this step will be important. Okay, so 71 groups times 1 coin. That's the idea. So answer 71 coins. So these are called grouping. Okay, grouping. Very, very common. Super common. Very popular. Make sure you must know. Okay, grouping. Can? Okay, let's move on. Question 17. Should be last question already, I guess. End of paper. Yay. You see, at this point of time, we started at 11:11. It's now 12:15. That means 1 hour only. That means, you see, follow my pacing, and sometimes you think, it's not even 1 hour. It's only 1 hour plus only. Okay, so we are good to go. Now it should be 1 hour and 4 minutes. Okay, so we are in good pacing. Next, okay, the table below shows the data for average maths of students in two groups, A and B. then part of the information is covered by a block. Okay, 18, average 38.4, blah, 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 9, 39.5, blah, 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 average mass, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a couple of things we can find, but it's all over the place. So we need to organize and think through what are the things they need to find and locate. Okay, there are 4 more girls than boys in group B. Find the average mass of all the students in group B. Okay, this one quite straightforward because they already told us that in group B there are 16 students. So if we were to draw a model here, once again, draw model for boys. Oh no, girls got more. So 4 more, and its total is 16. So from here we can straight away identify how many boys and how many girls each are already. So for boys will be 16 minus 4 divided by 2. That will be 6. Then girls will therefore be 16 minus 6, which is 10. So find the average mass of all the boys and girls in all the students in group B. So we know that girls is 10. And then boys is 6. Okay, so from here, we can find the total mass of all the girls, and then the total mass for all the boys, and then add everything up and divide by 16. That's the most straightforward way to do it. Okay, so the boys, so the weight will be, the mass will be 45.9 times 6 boys. Okay, 45.9 times, okay, 45.9, you get 275.4. Then the girls 10 times 39.5, 395. So the total, okay, the average, I find the average straight away, will be 395 plus 275.4 over 16. Okay, so 395 plus 275.4. Then I divide this number by 16. Okay, 41.9. Okay, I use too much of a space on the model lah, huh? But of course, drawing a simple model allows us to solve the question faster, visualize faster. Huh? Okay, next, find the number of boys in group A. Number of boys in group A. Average mass of students is, okay, 80 students, 38.4, 43.8, 40.5. This one is the interesting part. That's why it's 3 marks. We are only given the averages, so we need to go and find the people. Okay, so how can we do so? Okay, a few ways we can talk about this is, number one, we can use assumption, guess and check. Assumption, guess and check, all is in the same category. Okay, so from here, how can we do so? The average mass of all the students is something we can find first. The total mass, total mass of A, which is 40.5 multiplied by 18. This one you already know because it's in the question already. So it's 80 times 40.5. So this one should be 729. No, the answers, the number just seems to pop up at me. So I just got the answer. 729. Okay, 729. Okay, so this is where we start to use the assumption method already. Okay, so how do we do so? Okay, if we were to use, okay, they are finding a number of boys. So can we assume that all the people are girls? If we assume all girls, we can find boys. Okay, so this is where we find an assumption. Assume all 18 students are girls. All right. So it will be 18 girls will be 18 multiplied by 38.4. 38.4. We know this is not the answer because there will definitely be at least one boy. Okay, so 18 times 38.4, I'll get 691.2. But however, interestingly is however, this number is not true because there are the correct weight that we are looking for is 729, but we only got 691.2. What does it mean? That means there will be a group of people who are boys lah. Okay, basically. So basically we need to go and find the difference between the exact weight and this weight that we calculated. And then we see that it's 729 minus this answer, we'll get 37.8. So how do we link this 37.8 to what we have over there? This is where the average mass of the boys will come in already. Because for each average mass of the boys is 43.8. Each average mass of the girl is 38.4. So you see, there is a difference in the average. So all this difference in average will add up to this 37.8. That means we need to find the difference in the average of the mass of the boys and girls. So we take 43.8 minus 38.4. Okay, so as difference in average. So which is 30, I forgot the number again. 43.8, 38.4. 43.8, 38.4. Okay, 43.8, 38.4. I'll get 5.4. Okay, so it's 5.4 kg. So for every guy that increase, the average will increase by 5.4. And all these average all of them will add up to 37.8. So in order to find the number of boys will be 37.8 kg divided by 5.4 kg. Answer 7. Seven boys in group A. So if I were to turn it around, it will look like that. Okay. So this one, it can still use assumption. Can still use assumption. If not, you have nothing. You have no idea how many boys and how many girls are there. So straight away, if you see this kind of information are missing, you must link to guess and check and assumption already. So in order to find number of boys, we assume the other side. That means we assume girls. You want to find girls, we assume boys. Can? So with this, we mark the end of paper 2 and also we mark the end of today's EOY sprint. Okay, so subsequently I will be posting other levels as well from Sec 1 all the way to Sec 4, including N level and O level E-Maths and A-Maths. I'll do one paper every single day. Okay, so for this paper, if you all find it useful, can share with your friends. Then if you all got any questions or whatsoever, then you all can leave it in the comment section below so that I will be able to go through them with you. Okay, can. Then if that's the case, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thank you everyone and bye-bye.